Hello everyone.
Hey.
This is Jason.
And Anthony.
Yeah, it is fall. It's just after Halloween. I hope y'all had a great Halloween. The leaves are falling. The weather's starting to change. There's some birds in the trees, which I wasn't expecting, so sorry if they're being loud, but we figured we'd talk about a few things that you should pay attention to as winter approaches. Obviously in Seattle it gets cold, chilly, but it also gets really, really wet. And so there are some things that you want to keep in mind being a homeowner, that you maintain, that you keep an eye out for. It's that time of year in Seattle when leaves are falling like rain. And as a result, it's very important that you take a moment to clear your gutters because you want to make sure that they function properly, that they're clear of debris. You do not want water to build up and sit on your roof. That's not a good thing for shingles. A lot of times you'll see water or water marks that demonstrate that water has flowed over the gutters, probably because the gutters are full of debris and it's not draining properly. So make sure that you're cleaning, that you check your gutters so they're clear of debris. That way they function properly. Your house will be in tip-top shape for much longer.
So a more common overlooked feature on the house is the downspout. During this time of year when it's raining a ton, you really want to make sure that those downspouts are taking water from the roof away from the foundation of the house. So you can see the setup that we have here, pretty ideal. You have the downspout going down underneath the house out to the storm drain. Typically you'd want to see that opening there covered up just to really reduce any debris getting caught up in there. But that is basically your ideal setup. Minimum with these downspouts, you want to have about 6 feet of distance between the runoff and your house's foundation. Just going to really help save your house's foundation from corrosion over years and years of rainwater.
Something you definitely want to keep in mind as the winter approaches is that the south side of each house, your south facing wall, is probably the one that's going to weather the fastest. It's the one that faces the sun. It's the one that gets most of the weather hitting it and that sort of thing. So when you're doing your walk around of your property, which you should be doing at least once a year, if not more often, pay attention particularly to the south facing wall. Secondly, it would be the west facing wall. So those two walls weather the quickest. So just keep in mind the paint will start peeling faster. There'll be just more damage from the elements.
Okay, so here we have a furnace unit. This time of year, this is when you're going to be using this thing the most. So you got to make sure that it's running efficiently and correctly. One of the most common kind of overlooked things with the furnace, but a great useful tip, is that you need to replace your air filter in the furnace. Typically 3 to 6 months. You can look at your furnace manual and kind of determine when that needs to be replaced. But this is what they look like. This is an example of one. Try and replace that just so it's filtering out all the bad stuff in the air and making sure the air getting pumped through your house is nice and clean. You can see that this is connected to natural gas. This is the natural gas line running into the furnace. That's what it burns in order to generate the heat. This furnace is also retrofitted to a heat pump, which is outside. And what that is doing is actually using the ducting here that you use for heating. It also uses it to pull and cool air, and almost works as a AC unit would. Hey, so what we have here is an external heat pump. A lot of times what you'll see at houses is someone who has a furnace system in their house with forced air will hook this up to use for heating and cooling their house. A unit like this, it does have a range of temperatures that it will be most effective at. So if you do decide to upgrade to something like this, just know that once it gets down to around below 35 degrees, somewhere in there, you will have to turn it off and revert back to your normal furnace, whatever sort of energy you're using, whether it's natural gas, oil, electric, anything like that. All right, well, thanks for joining us on that little walkthrough on some good fall and winter home maintenance tips. We hope you enjoyed it. Feel free and don't hesitate to reach out to us if there's any questions on anything we talked about today. or maybe you have a home maintenance tip for this time of year that you'd like to share with us. We'd be glad to hear about it. Yeah, so thanks again from Awesome Nossum. We hope you guys have a good day, and we'll talk to you soon.
Bye.